Hello, my name is Sora for How Bizarre Studios, and today's video is about Usagi Yojimbo, the Ronin Rabbit. Usagi Yojimbo was created by Stan Sakai and first appeared in Albedo Anthropomorphics No. 2 in November 1984. She has been in publication ever since. Miyamoto Usagi is the main protagonist of Usagi Yojimbo, whom Sakai had said was inspired by the life of legendary swordsman Miyamoto Musashi. Usagi, which is Japanese for rabbit, is a highly skilled swords rabbit and one of the best in the land. Usagi was born the only son of a village headman. His two childhood playmates were Kennichi, with whom Usagi would have a less than friendly rivalry his whole life, and Mariko, one of the reasons for the boys' rivalry. Eventually, the trio went their separate ways when the boys were sent to be trained as samurai in the Dogora School of Bujitsu. However, on a trip there, the boys witnessed a confrontation where a gang of arrogant Dogora students attacked a lone traveler named Katsuichi. Katsuichi had left the school years ago, dissatisfied with the poor caliber of the students. The gang was quickly defeated by the sensei's unusual but effective technique. Although Kennichi was unimpressed by the display, Usagi pursued the departing sensei to petition him to become his student. Katsuichi initially refused, but Usagi convinced the teacher of his determination by standing outside his home day and night through unpleasant weather. For years, Usagi was the exclusive student of Katsuichi-sensei, and although he proved a mischievous pupil who got into various misadventures, he also excelled at his studies to become a formidable warrior. One of those misadventures involved stealing a dying soldier's wakizashi while walking through a battlefield with his teacher. Fraught with guilt over the theft, Usagi began seeing the now dead soldier in numerous situations, at one point having a nightmare that involved Katsuichi morphed into the soldier. Upon his return to the battlefield to return the sword to its rightful owner, Usagi was caught by an adult samurai and accused him of theft. Instead of summarily executing the young rabbit, they instead began the process of cutting his hand off. Before a blow could be struck, Usagi's future lord, Mifune, intervened on his behalf and upon sensing the rabbit's honorable nature, let Usagi go. At the end of his training, Katsuichi brought Usagi to a fencing tournament hosted by the Dogora School. Usagi won the tournament, and his final match was against his old comrade Kennichi, who by then was the top student of the Dogora School. The region's daimyo, Lord Mifune, was observing the contest and was impressed with Usagi's skill enough to offer him a position as a retainer. Before leaving to enter Mifune's service, Usagi returned to his village for a final farewell, where he found Kennichi had been staying at an inn in drunken despair, having sworn to leave the school due to his failure to win the tournament, but too ashamed to return home. Together, they returned to their village to free it from brigands that were threatening it. Kennichi decided to stay and would eventually become headman upon Usagi's father's death, which comforted Mariko somewhat against the loss of her other dearest friend. Kennichi and Mariko later married. However, before leaving the village, Usagi and Mariko had a romantic encounter that resulted in a son, Jotaro, whose parentage was hidden from Usagi for years. In his term of service, Usagi rose to become a trusted personal bodyguard of his lord and his family. That stable career was destroyed when a villainous rival lord, Lord Kikiji, sent ninja to assassinate the Mifune family. In the assault, Mifune's wife and son were murdered, and Lord Mifune waged war on his rival in revenge. That war concluded at the Battle of Adachigahara, where Mifune had the upper hand until Buichi Toda, one of his subordinate commanders, betrayed him and joined with Hikiji. Usagi's friend and immediate superior, Gunnichi, then fled the field upon seeing that the battle was lost. Lord Mifune was killed by an arrow barrage. Usagi performed his final duty, which was to escape with his lord's head to prevent the enemy from displaying it. As he fought free, he had his only personal confrontation with Hikiji, which left him with the distinctive arced scar over his left eye. Usagi escaped into the forest, buried Lord Mifune's head, and eluded pursuit by Hikiji's forces. By saving Lord Mifune's head from desecration, Usagi felt he had atoned for the disgrace of losing the battle. Otherwise, he would have felt compelled to commit seppuku. Usagi had since avenged his master's death upon both Toda and Gunnichi, although Hikiji remains beyond his reach. Now a ronin, Usagi traveled the back roads of the region, making a living as a Yojimbo for hire. In the course of his warrior pilgrimage, he made his deep friendships with many, including the young Lord Noriyuki of the Geishu clan and his valiant bodyguard, Ame Tomoe. The cynical rhino bounty hunter, Murakami Gennosuke. The brilliantly astute inspector, Ishida. The cat Kunoichi, Shizu. And the sly street entertainer, petty thief, Kitsune. He would also find some supernatural enemies like Jay, a samurai who believes that he was chosen by the gods as an emissary to smite evil and execute sinners. Miyamoto Usagi and sometimes his supporting cast has crossed paths with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles several times because Stan Sakai is friends with Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman. The character appeared in comics with them in both Usagi Yojimbo and TMNT, and also appeared in most of the TV adaptations of the Turtles. His bigger role as a guest star was in the 23 series, where he showed up alongside Gen. He also had a small saga in the 5th season of the 2012 show with episodes written by Sakai himself. Apart from his appearances in the 1987, 2003, and 2012 shows of the TMNT, Usagi was supposed to have a cartoon based in the Space Usagi miniseries, but it couldn't become a series. Recently, Netflix announced an animated series in the work, which will not be starred by Miyamoto, but one of his descendants. The series will be named Samurai Rabbit, the Usagi Chronicles. That's all for today's video. Don't forget to press the like button if you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching!